Okay, so we are going to continue writing a letter to the editor. And I'm going to share my screen. So 2 days ago, we wrote a letter to the editor. And I wrote this letter based on the brainstorming that we had done last week. And I'll share this with you right now in case you want to look. There's the chat window. Okay. And then yesterday, we looked at Moon's letter to the editor. And we also revised that. This is not Moon's. Give me a moment. This is Moon's letter. So you can see Moon's letter to the editor. We looked at that yesterday. Let's see. Put that there. And this morning, Pensy and I were working together. And you can see what Pensy has done. I'm going to annotate. So at the very least, I expect everyone here, one, to have opened a Google Doc, two, to have appropriately named your Google Doc. Again, write your class number, write letter to the editor. Three, look at how we start a letter to the editor. Dear editor, I draw your attention to this, the comma. And give me a second. Note that there's no space between the comma and the letter, okay? So no space between the comma and the letter. I'll show you mine. Okay, so no space between the comma and the letter. Okay, so after you have dear editor, comma, then you need to start writing sentences. And I think a good way to start is I am writing to respond to the article. And then afterwards, you write name of article. So that actually goes right there, the name of the article. So you need to make up a name of an article. I made up a name of an article. You can make up a name of an article. That was the name.
I'm using the device audio. I can't hear anything though.
Hello.
Oh well,
Wait a minute. What's this?
possibly somebody can hear me,
Hello.
but possibly not.
Can you see us?
Put a thumb up if you can see us
Put a thumb up if you can see us.
or hear us.
Or hear us. Just whatever.
Oh,
Hello.
hi, Mr. Bond.
Hello.
Oh, he can
I'm
talk.
just popping in for a minute. I just
And
downloaded
talk.
the app. Okay.
Hi.
And I'm in Chang Chao at the moment. I don't know if you
Hi.
can see that.
Say hi to Mr. Bond, everyone.
Having lunch.
Looks good.
It's good. Yeah, good.
Let's finish.
So I'll maybe talk to you later. Okay. And
Okay.
see what we can arrange to try and help the students. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, okay, so bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Hi, Mr. Bond.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
So I'll go back to sharing my screen. And I need to explain something. This is a newspaper. And if you can, repeat after me, newspaper. So all of this is a newspaper. And this is the name or the title of the newspaper. So if you want to, newspaper title, newspaper name. So if you want to, repeat after me, newspaper title, newspaper name. And inside a newspaper, we have articles. Here's an article. Here's one. Here's another. Here's another. Here's another. So a newspaper has articles. So a newspaper contains articles. And these are the article titles. Article names. See that? That's the title. That's the title. This is the title. This is the title. This is a title. Okay. Now these are not titles. This is not a title or a name. This is not a title or a name. This is not an article title or name. This is not an article title or name. This is not. This is not. This is not. This is not. Okay. So my point in sharing this with you, boys and girls, is that when you start your letter to the editor, you should reference the name of an article. Okay. That's important to do. Now, if you're more advanced, level 2 is reference the author of the article, who wrote the article. I will draw that here. Okay, the author. The author is a person, so you need to reference a person's name. Do I see any more names? No. Okay. Any questions? Do you have a question, Nancy? No. Okay. All right. Now, Nancy, do you have your Google Doc? No? Okay. Can you create one, please, and share it? Can you please create a Google Doc and share the doc, the link to the doc with me, please? Okay. Yilam Wong, who am I talking to? Hello? If you guys could change your names to your English names, that would be very helpful. So what I had in mind today was to review your letters to the editor. Again, yesterday I had reviewed. Oh, hi, Benson. Okay, great. Thank you. Yesterday I reviewed Moon's letter. Today I helped Pensy this morning. Okay, Benson, do you have your letter to the editor? And John, do you have your letter to the editor? Okay. Now, Benson, can you please create a letter to the editor? I'm going to show you how right now. 1, you have to go to, oh, hey, thanks, Mancy. Okay, thanks, Benson. If you want to create a letter to the editor, boys and girls, go to docs.google.com. That's where you have to go to create a letter to the editor. Okay, now we're going to Mancy's letter to the editor. John, do you have your letter? Okay, I need to switch accounts. Copy. John, can you please create a Google Doc and share the link with me, please? Switch accounts. There we go. 6. Okay. Mancy, I need your help. This is what you need to do. On your Google Doc, click on Share. And then when you see Share, send link to people, put my email address here, davidjw@class.cskms.edu.hk. All right, then click Send. So I'll say it again. You have to click on Share. All right, Share. Then put my email address here. Then click Send. John, go to Google Docs and then create a document. Okay, John? First things first, go to docs.google.com. Okay, let's see. Okay, now I will check. Mancy, were you able to share your doc with me? Okay, I'm going to check the link again. Excellent. Awesome, Mancy. Nice job. All right, here we are, Mancy. Now, first things first. How do you begin a letter to the editor? Can you type? So you see how I began my letter to the editor. You can also see how Moon began her letter to the editor. So can you start your letter to the editor in the same way? Great, here we go. Dear editor, comma. Oh, careful. Good, right? No space. Then on another space, hit enter. You might want to start your first sentence. So you could start your sentence, I am writing to respond to the article. You can see Moon did the same thing. You can do the same thing as well. While you're doing that, I'm going to look at the textbook. Okay, we'll do something a little different today, and we won't look at Moon's letter or my letter. We'll look at the letters in the textbook on page, let's try page 84. Okay, so we'll look at the letter on page 84. I'll make it just a bit bigger. Okay, so I am going to respond. Well, let's take a look at that language, all right? If you look at what Moon wrote, she is writing to respond to, okay? So she is writing to respond to. If you look what I wrote, look at what I wrote, I am writing to respond to. If you look at what Pensy wrote, she is, oh, Pensy, you're not there. Let's take a look at the textbook. I am writing to respond to. So you might want to change that language. I am writing to respond to. Okay, super. Nice job, Mancy. Now, the next thing you want to do, if we take a look at the textbook, is you want to write the name of the article that you're responding to. So you see here, this is the name of an article. So can you make up the name of an article? Name of article name. Okay, you put it in quotes. Put it right down there. So if you take a look at what Moon wrote, she also wrote an article name. I also wrote an article name. You can write your own. You can make up your own article name. Excellent. Yeah, it is hard. Sure. Life is hard. That's a funny article name. John, did you open a Google Doc? So after you write the name of the article, you might want to write when it was published. You might want to write the author as well. And then what the article is about. So I'll say it again. First, you write the name of the article. 2, when the article was written. 3, who wrote the article. 4, what the article was about. Then 5, your opinion. Okay, so that's the first paragraph of a letter to the editor. Here, I'll start another one too. I'm going to write another letter to the editor. Okay, here we go. Dr. Wu's writing another letter. Dear editor, I am writing to respond to the article, Life is Hard, written by Matthew Bond. February 26, 2020. The article, Mr. Bond claims that, what is the prompt? That Hong Kong students are so focused on their studies that they are unlikely to do volunteer work or let's use to gain work experience, or to volunteer during the summer. I disagree with Mr. Bond's position. Okay. So if you take a look at what I've written, I have all the different parts. 1, I have article name. 2, the article author. 3, article publication date. 4, article summary. 5, my opinion. 'My opinion about the article. Okay. So that is the first paragraph of a letter to the editor. Good. Keep going, Nancy. John, do you have your letter to the editor? So I'll share that with you. Benson, when you're finished, please send me the link to your Google Doc. That's a good question, Benson. You are answering this question, Benson. Okay. So you should do the writing task on page 88. So we're writing a letter to the editor on page 88. And we read about how Hong Kong students are very focused on their studies and are unlikely to gain work experience or volunteer during the summer. And then we have to agree or disagree. So to answer your question, Benson, yes. And you can see, when we take a look at what I had written, I put the name of the article, I put what it's about, and then I put my opinion, which is disagree. Okay, so I'm just following what the writing task is. And last week, we already thought of the ideas. If we agree, why do we agree? What are some reasons or arguments for agreeing? And what's the supporting information? Then we also found arguments and supporting information if we disagree. So I had already written a letter to the editor where I agree. Now I'm going to write about how I disagree. Great, Mancy, that's fun. I like your author. Yes, Benson. You're right. Page 88 does not give an article name. So you have to make one up. You must create. Be creative. So if you take a look at the model letter to the editor, you see that the model piece has a fake name, okay? So the person who wrote this letter made up their own article name, made up their own author, okay? So you can see with my article or my letter, I pretend that Mr. Bond wrote the article. And for Mancy's letter, she pretends that Moon wrote the article. In Moon's letter, she doesn't say who wrote the article. In my other letter, I don't say who wrote the article, but you can. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do after I write my first paragraph is I'm going to write maybe my topic sentences for the body paragraphs. And so what are my arguments? Why do I disagree? I'll think of 2 reasons now. So my first reason is students are poor and need to make money. So that's my first argument. First of all, students are likely to work during the summer because they are poor and need to make money. So that's my first topic sentence. And then I'll provide supporting information. Then I'll think of another topic to write about. Okay, let's try that. Students will, besides, students will work or volunteer because they want to meet new people and make new friends. So I'm going to write 2 paragraphs about these things. Now, Mancy, you need to be a bit careful. Look at all the spacing here. You need to add a space after the comma. Okay? After a comma, you add a space. Before a comma, you don't add a space. So add a space after the comma. If you take a look at my screen, I add a space after the comma, not before. 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 Okay, good. Great, Mancy. You're adding a comma after the space, or adding a space after the comma. Okay. John, do you have your Google Doc? Benson, do you have your Google Doc? Good. Keep going, Mancy. Just remember your spacing as well. After a full stop, you need a space too. Hi, Benson. Try David JW at class.cskms.edu.hk. If you're interested in how to write a topic sentence, you might try blank are a great way to blank. Or secondly, if blank, then blank. You may try these structures. Okay, good. I'm just going to highlight something, Mancy. Hard is not a feeling. Hard is not a feeling. You need a different word. In English, hard is not a feeling. Hard is not a feeling. I can't feel hard. You need a different word. Okay. Oops, sorry. That's supposed to be for everyone. Everyone. Okay. All right. Let's see. Super. Okay. I think this might be yours, Benson. Let's take a look. Okay, looks good. Now, Benson, if you're there, can you write your class and class number here? Can you write 4A16 here, please? Okay, that's a good word, depressed. Many students felt depressed. If you look at my screen, Benson, you need to change the title of your letter. You see that over here? Change the title. Can you make your title like this or like this? Okay, so make the title 4A and then your number, letter to the editor. Moon, do you mind changing the title of your letter as well? Can you change the title, Moon, please? Thank you. Okay, that's great. So you're on the right track, Nancy. You can say, Moon said many students find it difficult to gain work experience because of their studies, right? because of their studies. And then you can either agree or disagree. Because of their studies. And then do you agree or disagree with what Moon said? Okay. Now, Benson, you have your opinion. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. You have your opinion. Maybe that can be the last sentence in your first paragraph. Now you have to write the other sentences too. Okay, so say it one more time. You've done a good job, Benson, of writing your opinion. But now I think you need to write the subject line last. So, Benson, you don't need to write the subject of your letter yet because you haven't written your letter yet. Okay. If you take a look at my letter, I haven't written the subject yet because I'm not done writing the letter. I can't summarize the letter because I actually haven't written the letter. If you take a look at my completed letter, you see that I do have a subject, but that's because I wrote the letter. Okay. Write the subject of your letter last. Write the subject of your letter last. Okay. So you see Moon also needs to write her subject line. Moon, can you please summarize your letter? Please summarize your letter here. Okay, so Moon, you need to write your own subject line. Mancy, now you need to write, do you agree or disagree with what Moon said? Good. All right. Good. Remember to capitalize the first letter of each sentence. Might need a comma. Okay, great. Nice job, Mancy. So you might want to put a full stop here and then think about your first topic sentence and then your second topic sentence. Okay, good start, Moon. Summer something. capital letters, Benson. Hi, Benson. If you take a look at my screen, I need to show you some things. You have to be careful about your capital letters. You have to, 1, begin each sentence with a capital letter. 2, you need to use a lowercase letter here. 3, you need to capitalize May, Myu, which is the name of a month. 4, you add a space after the full stop. And 5, you need to put a comma here. So there are 5 things you need to look at. So make I a capital I, not a small I. I need a big I. You need a big I, Benson. I. Not I. Okay, good. Then you need to make May a big May, not May. And which, not which. Okay, Moon, how many teachers? 1 or many? Okay, then change it, please. Good. Nice. Good, Mancy. Now give me a second topic sentence. Moon, you need to complete. Do you see this? You only summarized your first body paragraph. You need to summarize your second body paragraph. So you need to complete the first sentence of your last paragraph. Okay. Need to check your spelling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Benson, you need to add spaces after full stops and commas. Good. Add a space after. You need a full stop, not a comma. Add a full stop and then a space. Okay. We're just about done for today. Mancy, you need to write your second topic sentence, and then you can start writing your paragraphs. And Moon, you need to finish writing your last paragraph. Benson, the problem is not full stop. The problem is you need to add a space. So Benson, if you can look at my screen, you see full stop and then a space. You see a comma and then a space. You see full stop and then a space. So you add a space after a comma or a full stop. Good. Now, Benson, you have to add a space after every comma too. Here we go. One more. Super. Okay. Nice job. So, Benson, now you need to write whether you agree or disagree. Then you write one topic sentence, and then you write a second topic sentence. Then you start writing your paragraphs. Okay. Are you able to meet tomorrow at 9 o'clock? I can't meet tomorrow afternoon. Okay. So I'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow. We'll continue writing these. I can continue checking your work. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now.